Nice.
All right. So, all right, let's start again. So Ebenezer Scrooge, and like I said, I like to think of the Patrick Stewart version of Ebenezer Scrooge, but you can think of any version
that we can see. Has he been in a movie or TV doing Scrooge?
Yeah, he did a TV Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah,
he did a TV version of Christmas Carol about 10 years ago.
How the hell did I never see that? I need because I just read an article where he's doing his one-man show. He's doing 2 performances of it as a benefit up in New York. And I was like, I really want to see him do that. I need to track that down.
I saw a funny story online, and this is a little off color, but said they went to see Patrick Stewart's one-man show of A Christmas Carol, and they were sitting in like the 3rd or 4th row or something like that, and there's a scene where Patrick Stewart is wearing like a bathrobe, and he sits down on a stool and does this long soliloquy, or a long monologue or something like that. And he said, and the whole time I was watching, I was like, I can see Patrick Stewart's balls. It's like,
oh my.
Why was he not wearing pants? He's on stage. Okay, so Ebenezer Scrooge versus Buddy the Elf from Elf. Who do you think would win in that fight, Joe?
Buddy the Elf has the power of positivity.
He does.
Ebenezer Scrooge is awful, and is the for the majority of his existence, he's a terrible person, and Buddy is going to teach him lessons and really irritate him. So I'm going with, and plus Scrooge was all flummoxed by 3 ghosts who were supernatural beings, and Buddy certainly is likewise a supernatural being, and he's a little more pumped up and a little more excited than your average ghost of past, present, or future. So I'm saying Buddy wins this, but Buddy wins him over. Maybe instead of having to be visited by 3 ghosts, like 10 minutes with Buddy, and you're like, yeah, okay, fine, I like Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He would just annoy him until he goes crazy or something. Rick, what do you think?
I think Scrooge would beat Buddy to death after crushing his soul with so much invective and negativity and insults, and just absolutely demean, belittle, and crush Buddy until he's just whimpering on the ground. And then Scrooge would take his platinum-tipped cane and beat the living out of him. Until Buddy is a candy cane-shaped bloody smear on the ground.
Rick's not really a Will Ferrell fan.
I was gonna say bah humbug, but then we're talking literally about Scrooge. So
also,
this is very on brand for him.
Now, I have never seen Elf, and we're going to encounter that a lot tonight. I have never seen this movie, but am I not mistaken that Buddy is not an elf? He is a human who was raised by elves, so he is not a supernatural creature.
Yeah,
that's my understanding as well.
Yeah, he's a human. He's a human being. He was a baby that was found by Santa.
What I miss?
Well, then
we're still doing round 1.
First one.
Yeah.
I still stand by my original premise.
Okay, Buddy versus who?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
In a fight?
Yeah.
Yes.
Buddy.
Joe thinks Buddy would win Scrooge over. I think Scrooge would absolutely demolish Buddy.
You're incorrect. Allow me. You said you've never seen it, so you never saw the snowball fight.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So he would.
Buddy, while he is not a magical creature, he does at times in the right holiday scenarios exhibit almost superhuman abilities. For instance, the ability to manufacture and launch hundreds of snowballs within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Plus, Ebenezer Scrooge
with
is
sniper
an
accuracy. Yeah, with sniper accuracy.
Yes.
But you see, you didn't hear my reasoning, which was Scrooge would utterly crush Buddy's soul first with invective and insults and
I'm not
Buddy
sure
is impervious to insult. He does not. He is
if you've ever seen Elf, then you know that basically
unstoppably cheerful.
Buddy's father was Ebenezer Scrooge in many ways.
Very true.
So, Virginia, what about you? What do you think?
Well, one concern I have here is when you take Buddy from the North Pole to 21st century America, he's already a fish out of water. You take Buddy to 19th century England, like, is he really going to have an advantage there? Obviously, let's say he can find Scrooge, clearly.
No, the fight is
well,
taking place.
No. They're both summoned to the arena.
Yeah, they're in the arena.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking they meet each other on their home turf or something. But then Scrooge could go to the North Pole. I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't remember the snowball fight, so I can't speak to that. I'm kind of with Rick on the beating him to death with a cane. That would probably happen.
Okay.
Guys.
Yeah,
Are there prison?
So it's so Buddy moves on to the next round.
Yeah. Like, can we defer to the people who've seen the film in situations like
I have seen it. I just don't remember that part.
All right. The next human being round. Joe, you weren't here when I announced how this works. Is Santa and the Easter Bunny are and Santa thinks that the best Christmas movies are human characters, and the Easter Bunny thinks that the best Christmas movies use characters like creatures and animated characters. So they're each summoning their favorites and they're fighting each other. So on the human side, we have another, let's see. Let's go with Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest Saves Christmas versus Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
Shitter's full.
Dang it.
I don't think I've ever seen Ernest Saves Christmas.
What? I haven't either.
You know who?
I haven't seen either of these movies.
I know who Ernest is.
People?
You've seen.
I quit.
You've seen
you can't fire me. I quit.
I am familiar with Ernest. Yeah. I don't.
Seen an Ernest movie? Any of them?
I have not. No.
Do you know who he is?
I know who he is. I'm familiar with like the movie franchise, but I've just never seen any of them.
Ernest Goes to Camp was a much better movie than it had any right to be.
Let's that you're correct, but I say let's defer to the wait, who is he even fighting again?
He's fighting
Cousin Eddie.
I gotta go with Cousin Eddie just for the sentimentality of it.
See, I feel like it's Cousin Eddie, but it's not for sentimentality. He seems like more.
He's gonna fight dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Literally, exactly.
I think they're both like good old boys, but Cousin Eddie is more. He's the kind of good old boy like you wouldn't want to be around at night. Like you know.
No, he's
like you would cross the street to get away from him because like he's not going to lose a fight. He's not going to lose a fight.
He's got that grade age, space age plastic, right? So if this right here gets dented, then his hair just ain't going to look right.
This is the Jim Belushi character, right?
No. It was Quaid.
Dennis. Oh, okay.
No, Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Oh, okay. I get those two mixed up.
Isn't insane.
I get those two mixed up a lot. All right. Granted, I have not seen Christmas Vacation.
Oh, what?
Nor have I seen Ernest Saves Christmas, but I am familiar with Ernest, and I will defer to all y'all that have seen the two. But I just want to throw this out here. Ernest is kind of has Wile E. Coyote powers. Like shit happens to him all the time, and he survives it.
Yeah.
Whereas Cousin
That's
Eddie,
true.
I think, is a real person who, you know, one good shot and he's down, he's not getting back up again.
Didn't the sequel focus on Cousin Eddie though?
We don't talk about that.
What I'm saying. I didn't see it either.
Christmas movies. Is that what we're talking
about? I would say that you are correct, Rick. But if we're playing by the rules that we usually play by, he just has to lose the fight. And you can be a cartoon character and still lose the fight.
Yeah.
He won't get killed, but he'll lose the fight.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, we're not going to kill any of these beloved.
It's Christmas. We're not going to kill anybody.
I wasn't suggesting.
What if that's my Christmas wish?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Rick says Ernest.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there that was an aspect of Ernest that hasn't been brought up yet. Because you know, having not seen either movie, I'm not going to take a side on this, but I'm just saying Ernest is kind of the Wile E. Coyote of this fight.
Okay, so let's take a vote. Do you want to vote?
I haven't
if it's
seen
a tie,
Ernest, so by default I go with Cousin Eddie.
Okay. What'd you say, Rick? You said,
I said if there's a tie, I will put a vote in, but I don't have an opinion right now.
All right, John.
You're pointing at the screen. That doesn't help us.
I'm pointing at you. John.
I vote Cousin
John's
Eddie.
over here.
Okay, so we got two Cousin Eddies. Joe?
I'm Cousin Eddie.
All right, well then it's Cousin Eddie. That's 3. All right.
Also, Rick's assignment between now and the next time I appear on this podcast is you have got to see Christmas Vacation.
It'll be on 24 times between now and Christmas. So
I don't have a good
right now.
A lot of times movies like this are, you know, I haven't seen them on purpose. This one, I don't have a good reason for having not watched it. I just haven't seen it.
I think it's on Netflix.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's not hard to find. I just never think to look for it.
All right, let's move over and let's do a creature. Let's do one from the creature side next. The Grinch from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and we'll do the original 1960s or 70s version. Versus the Heat Miser from A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Point of order.
Oh, you got him right there. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. Okay.
I wanted to show that to Sharon, and it's not available anywhere. Really? Streaming.
Even the little guy.
It should look. I want to say it's on Netflix.
No,
I want to say it's on YouTube. You could probably.
It's on.
There's a real crappy version on YouTube where somebody put a camera in front of their TV and that's it.
I think we have it. I think we rented it from Amazon.
They have it's not available right now on Amazon.
Of course, as a Christmas music expert,
I'll see what I can do, Rick.
I have the entire collection on DVD, but I don't want you guys to treat me any different.
Do you guys ever see? This is just a side trivia. Did you ever see the live action version, Joe? I know you probably did.
Good Lord.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
They did a live action version that had the guy that I can't remember his name, but the guy that played Robin Williams' brother in Mrs. Doubtfire, you know,
Harvey Firestein.
He played Heat Miser in the live version.
So perfect.
And John Goodman
he
was
Santa Claus.
Yeah. They showed it one time about 15 years ago, and it's never been seen again.
Question: before we go on with this battle, does Heat Miser have all his little bitty Heat Misers, or is it just him?
I'm gonna say that they're there.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they're there. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think, Virginia? What do you think, Heat Miser or the Grinch? And the Grinch has his dog with him. What's his name? Max.
Max. Yeah. Okay, this might sound silly, but if we're going kind of literally here, if the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes in one day, that Grinch would be a dead Grinch. He would be dying of a heart attack. Game over.
Wow.
Heat Miser.
Oh my God.
I don't make the rules.
He's a cartoon.
Virginia, that was worthy of my darkness. I high five you.
That was as dark as the Scrooge disemboweling Buddy the Elf.
Well, I was excuse me. I was on Team Rick there, so you see where my mind is. Come on.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I saw the Heat Miser, so I assume he has heat powers, so he could melt the Grinch's mountain. But see, I'm still thinking they're going to be in their home turf, so I'm trying not to think of that. I don't know. Let me think some more. Y'all go around.
Okay. All right, John. What about you?
Which version of the Grinch is it? Did you say
the original animated version?
The original Hanna-Barbera Grinch.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question: they are summoned instantly and they have to fight instantly, or do they have time to prepare?
I don't. Whatever you think.
Well, no, because the Grinch is very crafty. He can build stuff. So, like, if he knows he's fighting a fire guy, he can build some kind of ice machine.
He's had as long to prepare as these other two fights that took place.
Okay. As the Heat Miser would win that fight.
All right, Joe. What about you?
Conversation real quick.
This one's tough because the Grinch is pure evil. However, he can be turned, as we witness in the story. The Heat Miser does not change. He is a force of nature and constantly battling against his opposite number. And also he has the little fire demons. And those things are disturbing. So I'm going with Heat Miser.
All right. Rick, what do you think?
I agree. The Grinch is more of a psionic creature.
Nice.
He uses persuasion, and but he is not offensive. I mean, he maybe stinks, but he's not. He doesn't have any real attacks other than persuasion. Maybe some limited telepathy. I don't know. He gets snuck up on all the time, so probably not. And he's laid low by little Cindy Lou Who. So he doesn't have a whole lot of offensive capability. All Heat Miser needs to do is grab him, and third-degree burns, and he's dead.
All right. Well, Virginia, they saved you. So that's 3 votes. Heat Miser goes on to the next round. Okay. Another from the creature animated version side, we've got the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Nice.
If he wasn't in here, I would have been upset.
The abominable snowman. And he is fighting Mala from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No. Oh, why are you doing this to me? Why?
Yeah, I'm with Virginia on this one. I got to back out. I've actually never seen the Holiday Special, or at least I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since I was a child.
Virginia, that should have been on your Christmas list this year.
I don't know why, because they celebrate Life Day, not Christmas.
Thank you.
It's the Holiday Special. Okay, so they're backing out. So Rick, what do you think?
Well, first of all, Joe.
Yes.
You and I are maybe the only. I may be making an assumption. But I think you and I are the only ones who are old enough to actually remember watching the Christmas special when it aired.
Yeah.
And we probably you may be just like I was, because we were both still young enough to think, wow, that was really awesome.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, me and Sean have viewed it as adults in front of humans.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole thing.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So.
But the Mala is the mother, right?
Yeah, it's Chewbacca's wife.
Chewbacca's wife, right? Okay, so Wookiees are pretty badass.
Is she a warrior as well?
She almost bit off the head of her own child in the Christmas special. She snapped at him. You're like, whoa!
Speaking of fighting, is the Bumble pre-teeth or post-teeth? Because remember, he gets his teeth pulled out by Herbie the dentist.
That is correct.
By the way.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about whether they need to be coming from the beginning of their story or the end of their story.
I think it's got to be the beginning because the Bumble's pretty docile by the end of
Yeah, let's say it's
Well, I feel like
version.
wherever in the story makes a better fight. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be one hell of a dust up. I think this would be the most exciting battle of the match so far. But I think just by virtue of size and bounciness, the Bumble is just going to end up squishing Mala.
Yeah.
Bounciness. That's great.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you. I'll do that too. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do one. We're gonna do one more from each side, and then we'll go on to round 2. All right.
He's got a Bumble handy.
From the human. Yeah, I bet he does. From
Joe,
the human.
you are a force of nature, sir.
Actually, no. We're gonna do 2 more from each side. We'll do them quickly. Kevin McAllister from Home Alone versus John McClane from Die Hard.
I knew you were going to.
Nice. That's a tough.
Again, does he have time to prepare? No, I'm kidding. John McClane is going to kill that child.
He's going to murder a child.
He's going to murder that little boy.
John McClane walked barefoot over broken glass. I think he's got it.
He jumped off of an exploding building.
I
The
think
little paint can isn't going to do it.
Yeah.
John McClane has about 1,500 hit points.
I would like to think that he wouldn't murder a child.
He would subdue him.
Well, the whole point of this,
he would just choke him out.
as we have encountered numerous times before in this game.
Go to sleep, Kevin. Go to sleep.
Everyone has to fight. Because we encounter this all the time where you've got one character who is an absolute badass murder machine goes up against a total pacifist, but we're like, all right, they've got to fight. That's the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
So McClane he may not kill Kevin.
He would not kill him.
But as we also agreed at the beginning, nobody's killing anyone. This is Christmas. So Kevin's going to wake up in the hospital.
He would be very pissed off by the time he got through Kevin's playground.
Yeah. But Kevin doesn't have his playground. They're in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, but he's gonna put something together. They have everything that they would normally have in their respective movies. So he's got a machine
gun. Ho ho ho.
yeah. He's got his paint cans. He's got his little thing to put on the doorknob to make it really hot. All that kind of stuff.
Have you guys seen
his flamethrower?
Have y'all seen the new YouTube channel? Would you survive this movie? There's a science YouTube channel called Vsauce, and this is an offshoot from that. And they take classic movies and see, would you survive based on actual science of what they're doing? Would you survive? And they do Home Alone, and like those guys would have been dead or in the hospital from everything Kevin did to them.
Yeah, they would have been dead before they got in the house. Yeah.
Here's the only thing: like Kevin's one attribute is he sets all these traps, but as we know, John McClane is a master of crawling through ductwork.
Yeah.
Right.
So he would just avoid all the traps.
Which is also impossible, but okay.
Sure.
All right, so John McClane moves on to the next round. Frosty the Snowman.
I almost, before you even started, I almost said I will give everyone here $1,000 if Sean did not include John McClane in this competition.
Of course I am. Frosty the Snowman versus Jack Frost, and it's the Jack Frost from the movie Jack Frost where Michael Keaton becomes the snowman.
Oh,
that's
not Rise of the Guardians?
No.
Yeah, Rise of the Guardians, man.
Because that's the one I know.
Cool.
Never seen that.
Oh.
How hot is the Thunderdome?
Nice.
It's at the North Pole.
That's Chris Pine. That Jack Frost. Chris Pine.
What was it was Jack Frost versus who?
Versus Frosty the Snowman.
Oh. See, I haven't seen the Jack Frost you're talking about, so I have
Does
absolutely
Frosty have powers?
Huh?
Does Frost?
He has. I mean, he's made of magic.
Okay.
He's annoyingly chipper.
That's great, but so
But
is Jack.
you knock his hat off, and he's done.
Frosty versus Olaf.
Yeah, if he knocks it, because Frozen is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, people want to say it.
Excuse me. There was a whole special where he walks around celebrating everyone's holidays.
That's a special. That's not the movie.
Okay. All right. So including Christmas specials, because that's about half your list.
That's not one of the ones that I picked.
No, it's Jack Frost. He can summon wind, he'll knock the hat off.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, this is all he has to do, really, is get the hat off of his head, and he just turns into a snowman.
Actually, sorry, I keep going dark. I'm not going to do that. But
Can I just say,
oh, come on. Come to the dark side, John.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
If Jack Frost were to reach into his chest and pull out his still beating heart, it wouldn't kill him because he still got the hat on his
Still got the hat.
He would just be confused.
He doesn't have a beating heart.
I know, but he would just pull out a snow. He pull out a snow.
Pull out a ball of snow and make it like this.
I would.
What were you about to say, Joe?
I was going to say that Frosty the Snowman contains my favorite quote of any Christmas anything ever. When they go to town and the traffic cop stops them from, or, he blows his whistle as they're belly waffling through the town. After they leave, the snowman, the traffic cop goes, "Silly snowman.
Snowman.
Once they come to life, they don't know nothing." Like, he's so jaded. Like, this happens to him all the time.
Every year the snowmen are coming alive.
Man with the
I love how all of the cartoons from that time were like made in New York, and so they've all got these Brooklyn accents. Like, have you ever seen Wizards? Ralph Bakshi's masterpiece, Wizards, and like they meet up with like these elves in the forest, and they all have New York accents.
Get out of here! Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on to round 2. So, Buddy the Elf versus the Heat Miser.
Buddy is bacon.
I don't know about that.
Again, Heat Miser, all he has to do is give Buddy a hug, because Buddy's all about hugs, yeah?
But
That's
you are
true.
correct. Yes.
That's true.
I don't know that he... Okay. So what are the relative sizes? How... Because...
They're huge. I think I got the impression the misers were huge.
Misers are giants.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they're like 12 feet tall. I think they're
now when Snow Miser was standing beside Mrs. Claus at one point, and he was not 12 feet tall compared to her.
Okay.
I thought they were, and I'm like, are they human size or are they puppet size? And we're assuming that
Hang on.
I think he is taller than a human, but he's not like ginormous.
I will admit it's been
level.
a couple of decades since I've seen the show, so
I can do a scientific comparison right here.
So he's pretty big.
Side by side.
Right.
I seem to recall the minions were like human size, and the misers were like maybe 8 or 10 feet tall.
That checks out.
I don't remember them being that big, but I can accept that. I think Buddy will piss Heat Miser off because he's fast and he's wiry, and he'll be bouncing around the room. And Heat Miser is not very quick, so he won't be able to get a beat on him. But eventually, he'll lose his shit and just go Nova and just irradiate the room.
I think that Buddy has so much Christmas cheer just oozing out of him that eventually
he would just regenerate.
Eventually Heat Miser would break down and they would end up singing "Baby It's Cold Outside" together.
He would be like Christmas Wolverine.
Perhaps.
Baby, it's cold outside.
The Heat Miser would roast him, and then he would just regenerate.
Yeah.
He would feel bad about it.
Sure.
But I don't see Buddy winning this fight.
Virginia, what about you?
As much as I wish so.
Whoever said Buddy is going in for the hug of death, I'm on that team. That's what's happening.
All right, so that's Heat Miser going to the next round. Okay, next one is John McClane versus Jack Frost.
How many pieces can Jack Frost be cut into before he dies?
Yeah, I don't really recall Jack Frost. Like, it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Jack Frost is he
snowman,
is
yeah.
He's a snow nymph.
Michael Keaton. He's like an undead. He is like an undead specter.
Jack Frost was a.
Could John McClane blow him away with his machine gun, and he's going to chip into a million little ice cubes?
And he's like coming back together like Terminator, and he's like,
I don't know,
and turning back into a
melts
giant
into one big ice cube,
and he can become 2 or 3 snowmen. And
no, we don't know if he can do that.
Is that true?
He's an army of snowmen.
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
No, he doesn't. He didn't do that in the movie, but
I feel like that's.
I'm making up powers for him now.
We have to go back to the original text.
Based on
the clay tablets found in Mesopotamia 300 years ago.
Mesopotamia says that the Book of Frost, starring Michael Keaton.
So what were his powers then? Like what skills are we working on
I just remember he's a snowman, and he can slide down a hill really fast.
That's useful.
I remember him doing that.
So he's a snowman, like he's got like 3 section body parts snowman.
Yeah.
Like stick for arms,
that's
carrot
a head,
nose.
a thorax, and an abdomen,
he's got
right?
for arms. He's got like coal for eyes.
How did this happen to him? I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole.
He had a car accident and he died, and his spirit his spirit went into a snowman that his son had built because his son made a Christmas wish that his dad would come back to life.
See,
and life as a snowman.
That's reasonable. So he's indestructible.
I mean, he's a snowman. Yeah,
he's like Olaf. He can go to pieces and you rearrange and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I think like his head fell off a couple of times in the movie and things like that. Yeah,
sure.
But could John? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, go ahead.
Could John McClane just take his head and his body and like put them in different parts of the arena, and then he never gets back together?
Because I think they set up in the movie that he basically can become any snowman because he's a spirit, so he's going to melt at the end of the year. The next year, his son's going to build another snowman, and it's going to be his dad again.
So he's like Dead Man.
Yeah,
from DC Comics.
Nice.
Thank you. Okay, so
I forgot about Dead Man. That's a good
So I would say John McClane would melt him with a flamethrower, and while his spirit may return on the next Christmas Eve, he will lose the fight today.
Yeah, that's true.
So every Christmas, McClane comes back and is like, waiting on you.
Die Hard 99 this month.
No, I have a flamethrower. Snow.
Well done.
Yippee-ki-yay, snowy. No. All right, so John McClane moves on. And for the next round, we have Eddie from Christmas Vacation versus the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm giving that to the Bumble.
Smashes him, right?
Yeah, I would think. I don't see how Eddie could survive fighting the Bumble. Right.
Let's get a comment from Bumble.
Does anybody disagree with that?
No. So in my head, I'm seeing it's playing out like the scene in The Empire Strikes Back where he's in there with the snow. he's on Hoth. And
Cousin Eddie
stands up and turns around.
No, they have to cut Cousin Eddie open and hide inside his gut.
Not the scene I was thinking of, but there was too.
Actually, the scene I'm thinking of is from the original King Kong, where Kong just stomps a dude into the ground.
Oh my god!
Or from King Kong, where he pulls the lady out of the building and then just drops her.
You're not the right one.
You're not. Yeah.
So he could just pick up Cousin Eddie, just kind of look at him, and then just drop him. And he's okay. All right. Heat Miser versus John McClane.
Ooh.
That's
How bulletproof is Heat Miser?
I would say he's probably bulletproof.
His flamethrower
giant skin bulletproof
on him.
Now,
that's a good fight.
Yeah.
When bullets come out, they are hot. Heat Miser controls heat.
And also, well, bullets are lead. Lead has a relatively low melting point, so they may just turn into like paintballs when they hit Miser.
Or lead magical creatures are especially susceptible to lead. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's iron. That's iron.
Or silver.
Silver.
Yeah, which are both relatively light compared to lead.
Yeah.
Science, you guys.
It's a good fight. I feel like we need to craft a scenario on this one. Because this could in theory go either way.
Can the Heat Miser like shoot heat beams and stuff?
Yes.
I'm not remembering that. Okay.
He makes summer happen. So
gotcha.
He's essentially the sun.
He never wants to see a day that's
firebender. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And he picks up is it a thermometer, or does he pick up a piece of metal at some point and it melts in his hand?
Yes.
Am I remembering that correctly?
Something, yeah.
I know he does the thermometer, but I think it's
everything that I touch starts to melt in my clutch.
So
too much.
Yeah.
So can John McClane kill him while staying out of his grasp? Because if Heat Miser gets his hands on John McClane, Heat Miser wins, right?
He doesn't even have to get his hands on him. He can shoot like heat beams, like Superman's like heat vision, except from his hands. I think John McClane would do some damage, and I don't think John McClane would be killed or even necessarily incapacitated, but he's not going to be close enough to do anything. There's nothing that he can do to the Heat Miser.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I agree.
I mean, I think basically the timer will run out because John McClane won't die. He'll keep avoiding the blast, but he's definitely on the losing end of this battle.
Also, Heat Miser has all those little minions, and all they have to do is obstruct McClane long enough for Miser to get close.
Yeah. That'd actually be really funny. Like all these little guys just crawling up and holding him down. Like,
yeah.
And we don't know if they're hot as hell too, so it may just be
they are hot. They're not as hot as Heat Miser.
But still, it probably doesn't feel good to have one humping your leg.
All right, so Heat Miser goes on to the final round, and we have Heat Miser versus the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Ooh. They have no idea what sort of thermal capacity the Bumble has.
The ultimate heat and the ultimate cool.
That's a tough one.
It was always going to end this way.
Yeah.
You think?
And you know what? I got to say, every time we've done Sci Fighters, by the time we get to the end, it's usually pretty clear which one is going to win. But this one's pretty even, I think.
Well, again, I'm no Bumble expert. I'm no Bumbleologist. But Heat Miser has ranged attacks and little fighters. Like, even if he is a powerful, abominable snowman, I don't see how he can.
Well, but the thing is, the Bumble fell off a huge ass cliff.
Yeah.
And bounced. So I'd say
I think that
relatively indestructible. I think this, and also I think that Joe's figures, and folks that if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see. Joe has we've been laughing because Joe has a Heat Miser, of course he does, and a Bumble, and they're about the same size. The Bumble's a little bit taller, and I think that's actually to scale. I think that would be almost to scale what this would look like.
And I think that the Bumble would be able to touch Heat Miser. It would probably do some damage, but it wouldn't like give him burn so badly that he would die or whatever.
I'm inclined to think this might be a draw.
Because it's always a draw with the heat miser and the snow miser.
Yeah. But he's not snow miser. He doesn't have
battle.
ice powers. He's just
right. That's what I'm
big
thinking.
and fluffy.
He's just a snowman.
Yeah.
He's got big old teeth.
He's just a missing link of a guy.
He doesn't have like ice hands or anything. They're just regular, abominable snowman hands. Regular.
Yeah. Well, whatever's normal for a
standard everyday abominable snowman.
And technically speaking, the heat miser is he puts on clothes. He is not an animalistic creature. He speaks. He has a home and he has minions. I guess he
beverages. Sure.
Yeah, he pays rent. He
eats sandwiches every day. He likes to eat cereal.
He puts his pants on. He puts his snow pants on, one leg at a time, like the rest of us.
All right, so we have to take a vote because somebody has to win. So let's take a vote. Virginia, what do you say?
I gotta give it to the heat miser.
Okay. Rick?
Thinking about it, I think that the Bumble can probably take a lot more punishment than anyone up till now, but barring enough information to know what sort of thermal resistance a Bumble has, I think the heat miser is just going to edge it out. Yeah.
All right, Joe. What about you?
I gotta go heat miser.
All right. Well, that's 3 for heat miser. So that's So heat miser wins.
I want to vote.
Go ahead, John.
Your vote doesn't matter.
I vote for the heat miser.
Okay. Heat miser still wins, and that means that the Easter Bunny won the bet, and all of the stockings this year are going to be filled with boiled eggs.
Works for me.
Now I want to tell you some of the I want to tell you the other matches because I had 20 matches that I put together, and just to save time, I only did a few of them. So I want to tell you some of the other ones, and if you want to stop and talk about them for a quick second before we end the show, we'll do that. So on the human side, I had Clark Griswold versus George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life.
Kick Bailey's ass so hard.
Yeah, because Clark always has a moment in every vacation movie where he just completely loses it, and that would be it for George.
Yeah, Bailey was just like, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah,
never quite.
I'm gonna jump off this bridge.
All Clark has to do is just stay back.
I lost $8,000. I'm gonna jump off this bridge. It's pretty bad that you end your life over $8,000.
Well, back then, $100,000 was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot more. Yeah. Okay, Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way, which was the character that Arnold Schwarzenegger played, versus Larry Phillips from Jingle All the Way 2, which was the part that Larry the Cable Guy played. So it's Arnold versus Larry the Cable Guy.
I just want to see Larry the Cable Guy get his ass kicked, so I'm going with Arnold.
Charlie Calvin from The Santa Claus versus Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Ooh.
Never saw The Santa Claus.
Wait, who from The Santa Claus?
Charlie Calvin, the little boy, the son, versus Ralphie from The Christmas Story.
I'm gonna say Ralphie because he's got that Red Ranger. I can't say the whole thing, but he's got a gun.
Carbine action, Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock.
He's gonna shoot that kid's eye out.
And this thing, and for some reason he kept saying this thing which tells time. Yeah, that's a clock. Kid. Okay. Marcus Skidmore from Bad Santa, which was the little guy, versus Miles Finch from Elf, which was the little guy.
Was that
Marcus would play dirty. Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Marcus would play a lot dirtier than Miles would. And then Deadpool from Once Upon a Deadpool versus Batman from Batman Returns.
Okay. You're counting Once Upon a Deadpool as a Christmas. Okay.
It is a Christmas movie.
Right.
All right.
Deadpool wins.
And on the creature side, I had Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph versus Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, Cornelius would just shoot Skellington to pieces.
He's got that
got
ice pick. Yeah,
He's
he
a
did have
skeleton, though.
He did have
a gun wouldn't stop Jack Skellington though, because
he could break, like you said. You don't have to kill him to win the fight.
But
you just shoot him into pieces.
He wouldn't stand there for that. Ice pick.
But he
could
reassemble.
Because he gets shot at in the movie and he avoids the bullets.
Does he? Okay, I believe you. I only saw it once when it was in theaters, so I'm that brand of heretic who really wasn't all that impressed with The Nightmare Before Christmas. It wasn't bad. I don't get everybody freaking out about it.
I never have been that crazy about it myself either, but
I enjoyed it very much.
From Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Burgermeister Meisterburger versus Stripe from Gremlins.
Ooh, Stripe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Burgermeister would try to legislate his way out of it, and Stripe.
Joe, I just noticed that you had a Yukon Cornelius thing as you were putting it away. That's
yeah. He's got the whole set.
Just so freaking awesome.
Clarence Oddbody from It's a Wonderful Life versus the Ghost of Christmas Present from Scrooged.
Oh, Carol King would kick his ass.
Oh yeah. Slide the windmill punch. Yeah.
Grab a toaster.
Snoopy from Peanuts Christmas Special versus Rizzo from the Muppets Christmas Carol.
They would just go smoke a bowl and not fight.
Yeah, probably. And then the last one that I had was Krampus from Krampus versus Edward Scissorhands.
Ooh.
And there's our Krampus.
Ooh, that's a good.
You know who Krampus is.
I've never seen the Krampus movie, but I know of the Krampus legend.
Well, yeah, I know. Like, I don't know how gruesome he is in the movie, though. That's why I'm.
It was a horror film, so got to be pretty. Lots of blood everywhere.
Krampus.
Assuming
I would guess Krampus.
I think Scissorhands would take it.
I mean, he has built-in weapons.
He doesn't have claws.
He's a construct, and we don't know that he's killable. Whereas Krampus is it's a demon thing, but we don't know if it's killable either. So
I think
this would
be a legendary creature.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He would
It would be the most.
He'd keep trying to stuff Edward Scissorhands in the bag, but Edward Scissorhands would keep chopping his way out of the bag.
All right, that's
all
it.
Right. I want to put a question out there. Not part of the thing, but Santa Claus from the Christmas Chronicles versus any other Santa Claus.
I haven't seen the Christmas Chronicles. I mean, I know I've seen the trailer. I know it's Kurt Russell, right? So tough guy Santa Claus. Yeah.
You've seen it, haven't you?
I've seen it. It was good.
Yeah, all right.
I enjoyed it.
I don't like Christmas movies, which is why I haven't seen 2/3 of what we've talked about tonight. The Christmas Chronicles kicks ass. And they're doing. Have you heard they're doing a second one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Goldie Hawn is Mrs. Claus.
Goldie Hawn, yeah. She's going to play a bigger part in it this time. Whoever thought to cast Kurt Russell as Santa Claus was a genius.
So good.
There's a new Christmas special on Christmas movie on Netflix called Klaus, I think. It's animated. It's really good.
I have not yet seen that one.
It was enjoyable. Good family fare.
Cool.
Next year we'll pit characters from all these Hallmark Christmas movies against one another, and
you'll be the only one who's seen them.
And no, I don't watch it. And just everyone falls in love with each other. So
I was thinking about doing a instead of science versus fiction, doing a Hallmark Christmas movie? Is this a real?
Oh my God, that would be
Is this a
amazing.
real
That would
TV
be
movie?
great. Because with a having a teenage daughter, I've seen far too many, and or maybe I've just seen one over and over again.
They're all the same movie. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't make up a plot because they all have that plot.
I ain't judging that.
it's some woman that just got a promotion at her big city job, but for some reason she has to go back to the small town that she grew up in, and she falls in love with her ex-boyfriend from back home, and
Even though he's just a milkman now.
yeah,
Right.
and there's a child there that gets
Because it's 2019, but they still have people delivering milk.
and there's a mysterious old person that gives them some advice, and then she decides
that was
instead of
one we
taking
just watched.
she decides instead of going back into her multi-million-dollar a year job, she's going to stay there and bake bread for a living, or make candles or something. You know,
I had to explain Milkman to my daughter not too long ago, and she just didn't get it.
The concept of the milkman.
He was a man that brought us milk.
Why did
I always forget about this. When I grew up, I was a kid in Connecticut. I didn't grow up in Connecticut. We left when I was 12, but we had the metal box on the front stoop that were milk deliveries that maybe they don't even exist anymore. It was just a aluminum or steel box with a hinged lid that the milkman would put the bottles in outside, and it had styrofoam inside.
We still had a milkman when I was a kid in Vincent, but
now we have to go to the goddamn Wawa and get a bottle of milk.
Well, in
you don't have to go. People will still bring you milk if you.
Just
order it.
Totally. Yeah.
Just do
now
it on
it's
your
all
app.
come back around now with Shipt.
Freshmilk.com.
Like that, they'll bring your milk.
download the app and you can get whatever you want delivered.
The day I saw the sign at McDonald's said Uber Eats, I knew that human civilization was doomed.
I need a gallon of milk, a pound of jelly beans, and some ammunition, and I need it right now. And
bring it
house and a pound of butter.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this episode, and that does it for 2019. So I want to thank everybody who's been listening for joining us for another great year of episodes. I know we didn't release as many episodes this year as I wanted to, but hopefully there will be more episodes coming in 2020. And thank you to all of my co-hosts for joining me on this episode and every other episode that you take part in. So, Virginia, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me right here on the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. I do a podcast with my boyfriend Shane where we talk about movies and TV shows that one of us has never seen called Wait You've Never Seen.
All right. And John, thank you.
You're welcome. You can hear me on Captain Game Show. Also here on the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. CosmicPotatoNetwork.com.
Well done, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I'm sorry. It was Virginia's gulp that made me laugh.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I appreciated it. Just living life to the fullest.
Yeah. That's right.
Trivia Wordplay Podcast, CosmicPotato.com. Captain Game Show.
Joe, thank you for being here, sir.
Pass the mic over there.
Thank you. I absolutely love coming on and doing stuff with you guys. You guys are awesome. I thank you also for taking my Sci Fighters thing that I do live at conventions and putting it out on the interwebs. I would like to invite you guys. The last time we did Sci Fighters live in person was at Dragon Con this year, and it was an all Nicolas Cage tournament.
It was a cage fight.
It was a cage fight, and that's been collected onto a podcast, and I'll send the link. You can attach it with the post of this, but it got weird like instantly. It ended up at one point, Nicolas Cage from Face Off took the face of Nicolas Cage from National Treasure and put it on his face. And that's not the weirdest thing that happened. So it was a delight. Again, you got to listen. It was amazing. But all year long, we do fun stuff at facebook.com/groups/American Sci-Fi Classics. We're on Instagram at Sci-Fi Classic Track. So you guys go there and enjoy. Yes, you will enjoy.
Or else.
Have you heard that Alabama Comic-Con this year that Sean Astin's going to be there?
Oh yes.
We were at the Chinese restaurant tonight, and on our way out, there was a poster on the window that said Sean Astin was going to be there. And I told my wife, I was like, "Yeah, but if I went and I met Sean Astin, I would be so nerdy that he would not talk to me, because I would just look at him and I would say, 'I don't mean to, Mr. Frodo. I don't mean to.' And he would be like, 'Yeah, that's a line that I did. I did that line.'" Or it just, every time you walk by his table, you just start going, "Rudy, Rudy, Rudy."
So basically, what he's saying.
Mental note: never come to Alabama again.
Yes, never come to Alabama, or just talk about Stranger Things, and that's it. Hey, remember when you died in Stranger Things? I haven't seen anything else you did, but you died in that. That was cool. Remember when you were dead, just laying there?
I have a friend who just did a movie with him, and apparently she was like really nervous, and finally she went up to him and she says, "I don't want to sound like a nerd," but he was like, "You are a nerd." And then they spent like 2 hours talking politics and shit. So apparently he's like really, really relaxed and groovy. So.
All right, Rick, thank you for being here.
Dude, I don't know why you keep bringing me back, because like I misbehave all the time, but I cannot tell you how much I love being a part of the Cosmic Potato Network. I love doing your show. I am so honored to have all y'all as friends. I'm not going to plug anything, because by the time this show comes out, most of what I would say will be changed.
Okay.
Because the Infinite Diversity Network is changing. I will say this: if you're hearing this after January 1st, 2020, look for starbasecommand.net. Yes, you guys are the first to hear that on the air. But I have enjoyed the last, 4 or 5 years?
It's almost 4. It's been 4 years. Yeah, it's been 4 years.
4 years. And I was just supposed to be
one podcast that we're on right now.
I was just supposed to be a guest. And I just sort of put a cot in the basement and never left. And I love every time you guys let me come on, and it's a joy knowing y'all. And folks out there, I hope I'm not too annoying to you, but Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. What else is in this time period? Kwanzaa. And anything, if you're an atheist, Happy December. Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day.
Happy Festivus. Let
Boxing
the feats of
Day.
strength and airing of grievances happen. Merry ho ho, etc. And so I'm done.
And we're not completely finished, because next week we're going to be recording a new episode of The Landing Party. So make sure you check that out. It'll be out before the end of the year. And where can you find it? You can find it by searching for our Facebook group, searching for Cosmic Potato Network, which, by the way, the website has changed. We're not going to be found at cosmicpotato.com anymore. We are at cosmicpotatonetwork.com, because I wanted the website to encapsulate all of the shows on the network a little better. So we're doing that. Find us at cosmicpotatonetwork.com. If you want to reach us and tell us what you think, good or bad, ask a question, you can email us at cosmicpotatopod@gmail.com, or you can send us a voicemail or a text message to area code 205-642-8380.
Ooh, get you. Phone number.
Are you saying cosmicpotato.com now is up for grabs?
No, I still own it. I still own it. If you go to cosmicpotato.com, it'll still point to the website. But
I'm just saying, there's some things that can be done.
I still own it.
Stranger might need to hang on to it.
So Merry Christmas from all of us at CosmicPotatoNetwork.com and Happy New Year. And be sure to join us in January when we have a lot of things to talk about here on Cosmic Potato, the Super Fan Talk podcast. And you might just hear John say,
yeah, I didn't know this was going to be the last one for the year. I might have made it more impressive, but it's not bad. I want there to be a what if comic where Aunt B from Andy Griffith and Aunt May from Spider-Man open up a diner and they can call it Aunt Maybes.